Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and welcome to the 5th episode of the Choking Hazard podcast with my co-hosts Sugar Free Nos over there.
Hello, hello.
And RDT down there in a new location.
2 weeks in a row.
New location. Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. I'm getting it. I'm getting the hang of it. I'm getting professional now.
Yeah, hey, co-host.
I'm already missing the whiteboard, to be honest.
Yeah. It's a letdown, really.
Yeah.
I mean, what can I
It's
say?
very much a letdown.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to make this a little bit more professional.
See,
So-
now you get to deal with it, all right? I finally got past the hat, and now you got to deal with the
Yeah,
loss of
that's
the
it.
whiteboard.
Windows, whiteboard. it's all. See, everyone kicks off in the chat. The chair. We've got past the chair now. That's all about the whiteboard.
No, we
I
gotta
don't
keep the
think we're
chair
past the chair.
front and center. I think that
So
seems like something we should just take the heat off of me.
So we're talking this week about a few topics. We're talking a little bit of follow-up about episode 2, all the way back when we did episode 2. I've got talk a little bit about the GTA 4 video as well that went up on my channel, and that was interesting. I want to talk a little bit about that. And we're also going to talk a bit about dealing with criticism, hate on the internet, things like that. So should be an interesting topic. A little bit of GTA mixed in. We're also going to be going in depth about polls and how they should be placed on tracks, where they should go.
Don't know why.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I wouldn't do
Those,
that to people.
about to
I got
have an
scared there
aneurysm.
for a moment. You can't scare me like that. That was the
Really
worst
worried.
10 minutes of my life last week, was listening to you guys bicker. That was awful.
Oh, was that Zexy? Come in. I forgot one thing before we started. I forgot to get my alcoholic beverage, so we got that, and she's making an appearance as a unicorn since she's in the full setup.
I can't see this right now, but I'm sure it's great.
It is great. She's done good. Hello.
Where's your
Sexy
drink,
Sarah.
RDT?
Everyone's gone. I can go crazy. No.
Oh, really?
kidding.
Everyone's left the house now, so you can actually. I mean, so you could
Nah, they're just going
theoretically
to get
relocate to the whiteboard.
I could.
Go, dude.
I didn't draw anything though because I knew I was going to be here.
Doesn't matter. Go. You
Um,
can draw during the show. Just go. Pick us up and go. Take us with you.
You know,
all
I
right,
might
so
have to do that.
as always, the subscribers and donations and things, they're all muted, and I'll read them out after the stream.
And
So
this time you don't have to donate for him to
this
turn
time,
them off.
yeah, I've been on the game this time. I did it perfectly this time. See, it was just a mistake last week.
Uh-huh.
Bye. So,
It was a great start.
we'll start with talking about.
They
I think-
are shut blades,
let's
bro.
let's get into talking about the GTA 4
We're going
video
fucking crazy.
first of all.
Here we go. We're going on an
Oh,
adventure. Watch
okay.
out.
Okay, before we get into that, this is mid podcast relocation. This is
You
so
won't see this
professional.
anywhere else. Nowhere else. Well, maybe
So
you will.
professional right now.
Look, the pop filter's coming. We've got a guest. We've got a guest on the show.
But you haven't we haven't got anything drawn on the whiteboard. You're gonna have to draw something during the stream.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
So at this point, we need no should do the same. Wow.
Look, I can't. I got nowhere to go. So
No, this is it.
look, I mean, if people, I live in a trailer. I can go that way. That's the only option I got. It's the only option I got.
Oh man, we are such a professional podcast. I mean,
We very much are. My throat is sore. This guy, he got to relocate midstream.
And
All right?
leave.
You're always a disaster. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although I've had
professional
the
show.
intro correct for the first few months,
Yeah.
for the recent couple of weeks, the first
See
few
what I
weeks
tell you,
went good,
disaster.
but damn it, RDT on a
Oh,
laptop confirmed indeed. Well, he's not here, so I guess it's just us two. RDT's
Hello?
gone.
Look at that.
His relocation has ruined him. That's it. He's there. He
Yes,
is.
Coin Dog. I seriously live in a trailer. Like, this is a trailer, son. All right, look, we got a window unit. Look, have you seen the body style of these walls? This is like trailer circa 1977. All right, this is high quality trailer park living right here, coming to you live.
It's pretty impressive that you get like decent enough internet to that. Like, I've
Yeah,
always imagined
yeah.
that people who lived in trailers were out in the sticks of middle of nowhere, can't get access to anything.
No, there are
phones,
trailers everywhere in America.
Right, okay.
All right, look, everyone is poor here, so
Okay. Okay.
look, it's Alabama. So like I live right across from a couple of McMansions. That's kind of how it is.
Muted.
I can't wait until this podcast goes on iTunes, so people who don't even know who these three guys are end up listening and wondering how this gets so many views. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that. I mentioned about that. We are going to get the podcast on an audio only thing. iTunes is one of them, but you have to pay to do this. This isn't as if you can just upload it to iTunes and it's on there.
And not everyone can just have their own podcast. Jeez.
No,
people-
and
Can
iTunes
you
itself.
disclose the pricing?
closest window.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few different hosting websites that I'm looking at, and they're all around $10 a month, I think. Between $10 and
that's not bad.
$15 a month. So it's nothing major or anything like that, but
Yeah.
there are some that try to trick you by initially doing $5 a month or something, but then if you can only upload a certain amount, or if people listen too much or it gets too many downloads, and then you have to pay more, things like that. So I'm just looking at the various different options of which one's the best to go for. But SoundCloud is not an option because, again, that's a thing where it's free for maybe 500 megabytes, I think, which we would go through in maybe a few episodes, and then you
That's
have
good.
to pay. So again, there's no way
iTunes
to
is
do
a
it
better
for free.
platform anyway for podcasts.
Say again.
iTunes is a better platform for podcasts.
Well, yeah, the thing is, that's what I was going to mention, that like iTunes and Google Play Store, whatever the equivalent is, or all these other
Android equivalent.
all
yeah.
these other things that play podcasts, they are all, iTunes included, just distributors of a podcast. They don't actually host the podcast. All the podcasts that you get from iTunes are hosted on third-party
Somewhere else.
websites or by the people who upload them
okay.
themselves, and then it's iTunes is just being the middleman and giving you the ability to download it from them, and it all goes through RSS feeds and stuff like that. So yeah, we will be getting that sorted. I'm just looking at the options, and then that'll be going up, so I'll let everybody know when we have an audio only version. But that won't help when we have the choking section, the choke
Yeah.
of the week. That's not going to work too well for that, but hey, it is
Well,
what it
I'll have to shoutcast all the clips.
is. All the clips, yeah.
Yeah.
Paint a
To
picture
explain
for
what's
us.
happening.
What are my
Um,
internet speeds out here? I get
yeah.
60 down, 5 up. That's my speeds.
Well,
For
that's
the guy
not,
who
it's not
asked
too bad
that.
for a trailer.
Yeah, it's not too bad for trailer.
Jeez, really harping on this trailer part.
Hey man,
Man.
look, the trailer is part of my identity. My Discord server is called Nas's Trailer.
That's true.
All right,
Home is where the heart is.
the trailer is part of
Trailer's
me.
just a
and I am
place
part
where
of
you
the
rest your
trailer.
head.
All right,
Anyway,
so
let's move on
The
from the
first
trailer.
topic is just like quickly the two sort of little bits of follow up, I guess. The first one is about the GTA 4 video that went up last
Which was
Sunday.
great.
The second episode is going up tomorrow, or yesterday if you're
Hype.
watching this on YouTube.
Ooh.
But not tomorrow, sorry, Sunday. It's going up on Sunday.
Sunday.
So 2 days if you're watching this live. If you're watching this on YouTube, it went up yesterday. I was so surprised by the reception of that.
I wasn't, honestly.
I can't.
Yeah, no.
I couldn't believe it.
It's something different but familiar, and everyone loves that. So,
Not as different as a podcast, but you know.
Yeah.
well,
Different.
podcast isn't familiar. GTA 4 racing, it's
Yeah.
very familiar, but it's different. So, GTA 4, oh my goodness, we got to watch this. This is different. But
Yeah, and
it's
I
also
guess there's the
familiar, so-
nostalgia aspect of as well that we experienced
True.
playing it comes back to people.
I mean,
watching
I
the
knew
video.
when I hosted that event that was going to be a good deal. That was one of the best things I've done in a while.
Yeah, it was
I
so
hosted
much
that
fun.
Event,
The
and
thing
it was
is,
so good.
it was total enjoyment. I think that probably came through on the video. That I was just
Yeah.
enjoying playing the game. I wasn't thinking about all the issues that maybe GTA 4 has for racing, or all the issues that GTA 5 has. It was just not having issues with people knocking me around and things like that. It was just fun. It was just absolute
So-
fun from
yeah,
start
so-
to end. The
and
whole
and the
stream
fact that we
was.
did, go ahead. Yeah, and like the fact that you had something new too, and the fact that we had 30 people
Yeah.
in there,
Yeah.
which you hadn't
I
experienced.
had never
before,
experienced
was
that before.
Wild.
Yeah. So there will be more of that. Obviously, that stream, all those videos happened in one stream, and that was a great stream. It was so much fun, which you'll see throughout the course of the videos. But we'll have to do another stream of GTA 4 because
Oh yeah.
it's a lot of fun to play. I just enjoy doing it, and really surprised by the amount of people watching, the amount of people who liked that video, the amount of people that commented saying how much they enjoyed it. So yeah, we're definitely going to have to do that again. The
Moving on.
other part of follow-up is going all the way back to episode 2. So
Way back.
can you remember what we were talking about on episode 2?
Are you asking? Who are you asking?
I'm
'Cause I know
asking
I
you
remember.
guys.
You're talking about
talking-
Twitch as a platform.
Twitch
There
is
you
a
go.
platform, yeah, and there was
What
one.
do I win?
There was one stage during that. That was our least viewed one so far, as well. Just to point out on YouTube.
Yeah,
But-
good job, all you guys out there.
Don't blame them.
It was there was a point where we were talking about the different revenue share for partners when it comes to subscribers and things like that, and obviously it's 50-50 for subscribers. But then we had, I think it was MB Hammer, who was our guest that week, who said that there's some partners who get higher revenue shares, and this was completely new to me, the idea of this. But
Yeah.
you know, bigger YouTubers or bigger streamers, they get better revenue shares. So I did a little bit of investigation into it.
Uh-oh.
And
Are you about to hit us with some math?
no math, just
Oh, okay,
info,
thank
just
God.
hitting you with the info. There actually
thank
is a higher revenue share for partners. It's basically you're sort of a standard partner at one point, and then you are a premium contract partner, and
Ooh,
that
sounds
point
fancy.
at which you can move up to that is when you hit 500 subscribers, and you
Oh, you're close.
you have to maintain 500 subscribers for a month, and then they will offer you a premium contract.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we're not too far
You're
off. I
close.
mean, it's probably going to take a
Yeah.
while, but I've always said that when we get to 500 subscribers, I would do a 13-hour, 22-minute stream. But I think we're
Yeah.
going to slightly change that to, if we have 500, we hold it for a month, we get to this premium contract. It's kind of like a big step, I guess. Like that.
Yeah.
Then when if we get to that point, then I'll do a 13-hour, 22-minute stream in celebration of that. But I just thought it was interesting to
48.
relay back that information, the official information, that there actually is a higher revenue share. Those are the only two. Like if you get 1,000 or 2,000, there's nothing beyond that. So you're on either on the standard or
Yeah.
the premium. But I don't know what the actual cut is. From what I'm guessing and surmising, it seems like it's 70-30 instead of 50-50. The 25.
That's quite a
good.
bit when it
Yeah,
adds up.
that's
a
when you
lot.
think that that's more income, right, that goes to the streamer instead of Twitch. So
Yeah.
um,
More
but-
money for bills.
money for bills. That's it. Absolutely. And what was I saying? Bollocks. I was saying
Something about
something.
500 subscribers and shit.
Damn it! I've lost it now. Never mind.
Oh, my
Oh yeah, the cut for the $25 subscription, that is 70-30. Then it's 60-40 for the $10 and 50-50 for the $5. And I think it all just goes 70-30 across
Flat.
the board. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
well, I mean, we'll see how it. Obviously, if we ever reach that point and I get that premium contract on Twitch, I'll let everybody know, and we'll do a follow up on the podcast in months' time of what that actually is, because I like
Hopefully
being
you do.
transparent about these sorts of things. But
Yeah.
something to aim for. I agree.
I do too. I love being transparent, but most of the time it's to my own detriment. So, you know,
I like being, just behind the curtain in the shadows.
you're closed off. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't like being. That's a finance guy. Come
So
on.
we've got the rational person, the person who hides, and then the ridiculousness over here. So
Yeah.
All right, so
Moving right
that's
along.
the follow up done for last week. And the main topics from this podcast are about having different opinions about things. Let's start with that. And
well, as a Southern man, I could say that I don't handle different opinions well. So
that's exactly what I was going to go on to. But let's get your two opinions first about different people having different opinions about things.
Do you want my opinion or Nas's opinion?
Well,
You get a choice.
you've just said that you don't handle that very well. Explain.
was a joke.
Elaborate.
Yeah, it was
that was the Southern man in me.
All right,
Yeah,
that was Nas.
Okay,
That
I was
wasn't-
hoping there would be something juicy going on, but I kind of
No.
didn't expect that you would be that kind of person. But then I was thinking, wait, is he a
No,
scumbag?
look,
from
everyone
that deep
knows
down?
I'm a closeted liberal, please. So, come on. Anyway, yeah, I probably have the same thoughts as you. Like, people have different opinions. You need to deal with it, or don't interact
I mean,
with
there's
them. I
yeah,
guess.
there's pros and
Especially on
cons of
something
everything.
as stupid as goddamn polls, man. Like
Yeah.
polls on a racetrack, and everybody's
In a
up in
video
arms, and they're
game.
fighting, and they're cutting into each other. Like, just stop. All right, it's time to stop.
Opinions are like
Talk to
assholes.
my friend
Everyone
Cooper.
has one, and I'm
Just-
okay with that
just-
as long as they don't shove it in my face.
If
Yeah, I
you,
like
if,
that.
Listen, if you have a problem with polls, move to Superior Platform, join PC, and then just remove the polls. All right, that's your only solution.
And then we have the
That's what I
different
advise you do.
opinions of which is the best platform to play GTA. But no, the polls thing is an example. We're not going to get into the discussion of polls, obviously, because it's been done to death on the last 2 live streams. But like that is an example of it. It's not always a clear-cut answer one way or another. Like, yeah, I'm more in favour of removing polls. Other creators aren't in favour of them or would prefer to have them open. Some creators
You mean
might
block them?
create...
You mean block?
block them,
Not
sorry,
remove them.
yeah, block them. I'm sure everybody would prefer to remove them. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
most... Like, I prefer to block them. There's people who prefer to block some, the most important ones, but then leave others open. And there's other people who might create tracks that are completely devoid of props at all, and it's just like a standard old school Rockstar experience. And the thing that I think always gets lost when we talk about these things or have these discussions is that there's never a right answer. We're not debating to try and win over the other person who thinks differently. It's about sharing different opinions, and
Sure is entertaining to try, though.
of course.
Yeah.
You've
but-
got to admit.
Then you also give out these stipulations that if everything's, I was actually thinking about that soccer ball one, but then you have this idea that if you have a poll open, you can't have your track in an event. Like you're forcing your opinion on us on how to create a track.
No, I might be forcing my opinion on the events that I hold, but I don't have
Yeah,
to.
which is
I'm
which
not-
is within his right to do.
Yeah, I'm not saying that anyone who hosts an event has to follow by my rules of what an event track should be. I mean, we have events on Nodo that have ridiculous stunt races and the things that Drifting has done before with Vertigo Kart and all that kind of stuff. You know, again, it goes into the same thing that everyone has an opinion on something, and people are allowed to run their events, make their tracks the way that they damn well please. And I think that is lost a lot of the time because everyone starts then going at each other and trying to persuade people what's right. They think their way is the only way to have something, and it's not. We're
Nope.
getting close to bringing up the poll discussion again. I don't want to bring that
Yeah.
discussion up again.
I will not let it happen. You understand?
No.
I mean,
okay, we're good. We got
like-
an independent person to make sure it doesn't happen again.
We're like arguing about what opinions are. I don't know how we're supposed to discuss our opinions on opinions. It's so meta, man. It's like,
Yeah, I suppose. I mean,
it's like there's pros and cons of everything, and everyone has their preferences and their opinions. So
Well, I mean, no one like. I've got some experience with dealing with conflicting opinions in life. I mean, like, you know, some of my opinions on some things. I live in rural Alabama. All right, I have to interact with people who have wildly different opinions to me
yeah,
every day, and some of those opinions are not very nice. So, and they're not very rational. And
In
I
your
have to
opinion.
deal with them. In my no.
But I think
We'll
that's
get
like
Indiana Hammer in here.
that's
telling me about my opinions.
that's sort of the thing that yes, everyone can have different opinions and we can have opinions on our opinions, but then there's a lot of people that miss out on that whole idea of having opinions and then having a discussion about something where opinions can change or can switch one way or
Opinions
another. Or
never change. They never change. Let's be honest.
I'm generally quite open to changing my opinion on things. When I hear the other side of things, I can always
listen.
think...
You just think you're open. You're not really open. You're not going to change your mind. I'm not going to change my mind. No one's going to change their mind.
No, it's the internet.
Look, it's 2017. Everyone is polarized. You're either over there or you're over there, and that's the only two choices you got, and you can't change your mind. So,
okay, is that how it is?
That's the world we live in. That's
All
the
right.
world.
Well, that's the internet. That is the internet. Nobody can have a different opinion on the internet. It's not allowed.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think you generally, people respect people even more if they have the differing opinion, but are vehemently for their opinion on the internet than they do if you're quite happy to sort of sit in the middle and think of both sides and weigh up the pros and cons and then form an opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people don't like that. People don't like that on the internet. The internet is bipolar.
That kind of goes into taking criticism on how your creations are, you know? It's like if you say one little thing about someone's track in your streams, they're going to go crazy. You're going to be like, what are you talking about? This is perfect. This is a 10 out of 10 track. I would drive this every day.
Yeah, that's another thing of dealing with
I do it
criticism.
with my own tracks too. My own crap tracks.
Everyone does.
It is. That's the thing. You've got to have some level of removing your own ego from the equation, which is admittedly difficult to do, and some people find it more difficult than others, I imagine. I've gotten a lot better at it over the years, and I often think that
since you were 18.
Since I was 18, yeah. I'll come on, we'll come on to that, I think, because there's an important point regarding that. But the criticism that people might have about anything that you do isn't necessarily the be all and end all of life. And if when it comes to track creation, when it comes to the live streams, they're obviously all my opinions on tracks, and I always try to say this, but it's never up to the person who created the track to take my opinions and actually change it. Some people do, and they thank me for my opinions on it, and they think that the track afterwards has been made better for it, and then that's great, fair enough. I've actually hopefully made an impression on that, but nobody's forced to do it, and nobody says that my opinions have to be the right way to go about it. It's obviously up to the person who creates the track. But when it comes to actually taking the criticism, that's a difficult thing to do. Like I said, you have to remove your ego from the equation and be accepting of the fact that just because you created it doesn't make it the best thing in the world. Whereas I think when you do create something, you put a lot of time and effort into it, obviously, to then hear some criticism about it. If it's almost like it's an attack on you personally, because you've put a bit of yourself into what you've created. Your opinions.
Sure you feel that. Yeah. I'm sure you feel that when you're streaming, when you put out a video. I mean, we have a great community, and the only people that really see any of the music that I put out is them. So I only get compliments, but it's like criticism is a lot better than a compliment, in my opinion, because that's what makes you get better.
No,
it's like when people say you learn more from a loss than you do from a win.
Yeah.
Because when you win, you just did everything right. Cool. But if you lose, you can fix things. So you have to, like Bruffy said, you have to take your ego out and just try to be the blank slate and take everything and just, make your next thing better.
Yeah. It is difficult to do, though. I mean, nobody's
it is
saying
hard.
that it's an easy thing to do. When going to track creation, you create this track for hours after hours after hours. You have all your opinions and of how a track should be in that track, and then for someone to come along and say that I don't like this being like that, or I don't like that being like that. It is like it's an attack on your opinions. It's like, I not only don't like this track, I don't like your opinions, and therefore I don't like you because of those opinions. And that's not how it is. You're just criticizing a track, and you're giving your opinions, and opinions don't have to be in line with each other, and it doesn't have to be an attack on the track. It doesn't have to be an attack on you. If you want to keep your track in the same way that it is, and you prefer it like that, fair enough. There's probably other people that do as well. But that's something that it generally gets lost a bit and criticism is a difficult thing to deal with. But I agree with what Kanji just said there. You know, if someone gives constructive criticism, then, you know, at least you know that they aren't just blowing smoke up your bum to cater to your ego.
That's
That's
what I would prefer most of the time. So
Yeah, you would prefer to have smoke blown up your bum. Yeah,
Yes.
you want to be you want to be revered for how good you are.
yes, exactly. Well, no, not how good I am, how average I am. All right? I've never aspired to be anything more than average. So that's how I live my life.
There's,
one average day at a time.
There's a great quote. I wish I could remember. It was a philosopher
goodness.
back in
Is
the.
this going to be r/I'm 14 and this is deep?
No. It has to do with.
Okay.
Is that an actual thing?
Yeah, it's a subreddit.
r/I'm
I'm 14 and this is deep. Go
just don't
visit.
get it.
Shout out to them.
No. Anyway, what Brevy said is like, if you can just lead the track yourself, and then, you know, I'm sure you like it and other people. Some philosopher, I forget who it was, said that, you know, do what you want to do, because whatever you do, whatever you like doing, there's bound to be someone else that likes it as well. So,
Yeah,
like, just if you make your track and you're like, this is great, there's got to be someone somewhere out there in the world that's like, yeah, I like this. I like this stick.
and then
in the
on the
middle of
flip
the road
side
here.
of that, whatever you do, you're never going to please everybody. You're never going to
Yeah.
do something to everybody's taste. So ultimately, just do what you you know. You can take the criticism and maybe change your opinion based on that criticism. But if you don't, there's going to be other people out there who still like the sort of thing that you do. It's interesting that what was put in the chat there, a lot of criticism on the internet is closer to abuse, though. People get really on edge. And that kind of leads us into the next little thing of, you know, dealing with criticism. Dealing with criticism is one thing, and then dealing with hate is something else. And it is a fine line. Like there can be really nice constructive criticism. It's always first of all, it's always nice when you create something, people enjoy it, and they're happy about it. They tell you that they're happy. That's great. You feel great. Having some constructive criticism about, I'm not sure this is that great, but I don't mind it, but maybe you could do this to change it. Then, you know, that's good as well. It might hurt you a little bit ego wise, but, you know, you can see where they're coming from. And then at the other end of that is very harsh criticism. Might still be constructive. It's still something that's, if you were to listen to it, it might help you in whatever it is that you're doing, but it's still very, very harsh and straight to the point. There's no sort of, you know, making nice or anything like that. That's a lot harder to take, I think, because it is ultimately, when you're reading something like that, you know that it's constructive. Is Addy Taylor laughing at the chat?
Yeah, this guy needs to go, I think.
He's
There
gone.
we go. Good job.
But I'm also 12, so I like it.
It's because when you're reading something like that, you know that they are on some level correct in some of the things that they're saying, and you can, but then the way that they put it across, you kind of almost, you fight against it because of the way that it's said and how harsh it might be.
Yeah. I could give a hateful example from our last video. I'm sure you saw the comment.
Well, hang on, and then after that, there is also just pure hate. Just someone who absolutely hates everything you do, regardless of how good anything is.
That's what I was going to jump to first.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and that is on the different level. So, you know, dealing with different kinds of criticism, you do it in different ways, and when it comes to that level, like where it's just pure hate or trolling, or, you know, just there's nothing constructive in there whatsoever. That sort of stuff, to me now, after doing this for how many years that I've done it, doesn't even register to me. I glaze over it and move on to the next comment. Don't even think about it for a second. It's just, and that's the best way to do it. You just ignore it. If it's nothing constructive, just ignore it. You don't answer it. You don't give it any response, because who cares? It's just some idiot who has no idea what they're talking about.
Someone who's not happy with themselves.
Yeah.
And so they just want to put someone else down.
At the end of the day, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't even register to me. But go on, say your example.
We're going to the cesspit of the comments for this one, correct?
Yeah,
Alright.
sure.
So I'm going to read this one for you. I won't call him out because that would be...
Is this a comment on the previous podcast or the previous video?
Yes, on the previous podcast.
Previous podcast
video.
right?
Yes, I'm sure
Oh,
you
please,
saw it.
please tell me if I'm right. Is this the one that's had terrible grammar and called you inbred?
Yes.
I saw that one.
Yes.
Again,
You
I
saw
just
that
passed
one?
over it, so I didn't really think about it. But
Yeah, I mean, I passed over. I didn't pass over it. I chuckled for a bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm better equipped to handle that because look, I've had to operate on the internet for like 7 years with my voice, okay? So I've got it. All right, I'm used to it. But here, we're going to read this one for you if
go
you
on.
did not see it. He says, you should drop the Alabama kid. He sounds stupid, and me being from the USA, I don't like him representing my country on here. So if you could find someone that's not an inbreed from the shithole of our country, that would be great. So, one, I don't know where he thinks RDT is from.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the first thing that got to me. I thought, wait, there's
I don't
two
know why
people
it's such a
representing the
prime
USA
example
here.
Of an
Yeah, look, we have
American.
the low end and we have the, well, I mean, Philly. Is Philly nice up there? Like, do you live in the bad part of Philly? Is it
It's
nice
not.
up there?
It's not bad. It's like there are nicer
Okay.
areas, but
Okay, so we've got the low end and then we've got
I'm
the
not from
mid-range.
here either. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
like
RDT is Canadian. Yeah, he's Canadian.
A.
Yeah, those are the vocal minority. I'm not looking for somebody to suck my dick and tell me that I'm perfect. All right, look, I just want
My
to read the
advertisers.
comment and give you a chuckle.
It's interesting that, you know, what Lazy Sunday says there, that hateful comments are just seeking a response. You know, if you deny them the response, then they don't win. That's right. And it's the same
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
like bullies in life. They're wanting a reaction, or if someone says something to you, they do it only to get a reaction. So
Yeah.
you know, you just pass over it and don't even think about it. But
At least you aren't from Mississippi. My man, you know how things work. At least I'm not from Mississippi.
It can
I'd
be
be screwing my
difficult to
sister
deal
instead
with,
of my
though.
cousin.
I mean, have you? We're like sort of we are 4 weeks in terms of the videos that have gone out now into this podcast. You've had a hateful comment. You seem to not even think about it. You dealt with it pretty well.
I think
Aditi,
I've
have
had
you
more than
anything
A.
negative?
I've had a couple. Haven't
Yeah,
I?
there's been a few, but I can't remember them. Has there been
mean, they're-
anything
they're
negative
irrelevant
to you,
anyway.
RDT?
No, I think there was only one that
Oh,
was
look
like
at this man. Could you say a negative thing about this man?
yeah. So
No, the only
There's only
negative
one
comment
person.
you got was someone who hated your haircut because he.
yeah,
you know,
during the stream though, that was
he
it.
doesn't
They
like
didn't
good
my haircut.
haircuts.
So, like, yeah.
There's another one that said like I think he just wanted to argue for the sake of arguing and be right.
Oh,
And I was like-
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, all right, I guess maybe, but who cares?
So, like, do you guys feel okay dealing with like criticism or hate? Like, does it affect you, or
now
are
I
you not too bothered about
When
it?
I was
crumble.
when I was a lot younger, in effect, like when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, playing on the internet, you know, back on Xbox Live where everyone screwed my mother. You know,
Everyone.
everyone.
Oh.
You know, it could be kind of hard to deal with, but I've gotten over it. Like, you just gotta, especially when you start to do streamer things, you gotta put all that aside and just deal with it.
I actually seek it out. Like,
Really, do you?
I'm a real weirdo. I'll just go on like some people's Twitters, mostly
kinda
Donald
guy who
Trump's Twitter,
posts-
and just see who's responding to his tweets. I'm like, God, I just love getting revved up. Just looking at people fight. It's amazing.
Go post on r/roast me and get some
I'm not
negative
gonna do
opinions there. Really,
Yeah,
you don't know
alright.
enough of that?
I don't need personal
Kira got
attacks. I just-
suggested r/roast me right there. See, we were both thinking the same thing.
See, this is the thing. Like, when going back to the 18-year-old Bruffy era, I'm sure most people have seen the
What an
video
era.
at this point.
It was great. Trust me.
I mean, I am totally ashamed of that now, but back then, that was just my only response. That was the only thing I felt I could do. Receiving that was the first bit of, I guess, trolling, hate that I ever really had, and I often think sometimes that it would have been really good if I'd started a YouTube channel back then, like GTA 4 racing, for example, and I could be a lot bigger now if I'd started all the way back then, building up a channel for all these years.
And
but
left those paragraphs on everybody's comments.
Yeah, that's
on
it.
YouTube.
I'm glad that I didn't now, because that 18-year-old Bruffy wouldn't have been able to handle it. There's no way. I mean, I struggled with it even when I was maybe 21, no, 22 I think I was when I started actually doing YouTube properly, and 23 or so, I think it was 23, nearly 24 when I started doing GTA when it came out, and then I started getting a fair amount of criticism and hate because people didn't just basically didn't understand the kind of testing I was doing and called it rubbish. So there was plenty of people who enjoyed it, obviously, but
the good old days.
The good old days in the original stock car videos. But I struggled with it even then, and I had to I had to go through it, and you learn. And I never used to respond. Well, I did a little bit respond, but you see other ways of dealing with it, and you now it doesn't even faze me. The constructive stuff still does, but not the hate. But thinking about it, if 18-year-old Bruffy had received the hate or the negativity that was happening at the start of me covering GTA with the testing videos, Jesus, it would have been messy. It would have been messy. The messages that would have gone back and forth. I probably would have made videos about specific people and gone into all that drama and stuff like this.
Style.
Like, it would have been horrible because I couldn't deal with it. I didn't know how to deal with it back then. So
yeah,
it's something that you do. You do get better at the more that the older that you get a lot better at it, and the more exposure that you have to this sort of thing, the more you realise it's just ridiculous. And most hate comes from people who either don't understand what you're doing, they're not smart enough to actually understand the intricacies of, say, testing or anything like that, or they just don't like you as a person, they don't like your voice, they don't like the way that you look, and who gives a
like your stupid
cares?
face.
Yeah, and that is meaningless as well. So it's only really the harsh constructive criticism that is the more difficult one, I think, to cope with, and there's a fair amount of that still going around. It almost feels sometimes like the entirety of Nodo hates me. Every single Nodo chat that I ever see has all negativity about me or things that I do, or
that's because they're scum.
Or the tracks, my tracks, which
the scum
things like that.
Scum. Okay,
it's
how it works.
That is that's a new level of criticism, because that's a community that I've sort of built up, and admittedly I haven't been able to be as involved in it naturally because I'm just so busy. I'm not able to be in the Slack chats every day, every night. It's just not possible. I don't have an infinite amount of time. But
I don't even join the Slack chat anymore, so I'm right there with you.
But like
I'm still in there. Check me out.
But it's a lot harder to take when it's something that you've sort of built up like that, and it's as if it's as if the people who previously supported you or liked you, or they're most people are probably there because they started watching my videos and maybe enjoyed it and wanted to get involved in it, and then you hear the sort of the negativity and the criticism about you. That's harder to take, and that's a new one that I've had to sort of deal with, of people seemingly originally liking you and originally liking what you did and then completely turning around. It's difficult, that one, and it's still something that I sometimes it cuts me a bit more than other areas, I guess. The hate stuff just passes over me, but it is difficult. But maybe it's not really the place to be talking about it. But there's not an awful lot I can really give towards that discussion. It's just I wanted to input that sort of that middle point, that new level of criticism or negativity, that it's not strictly hate, it's not just constructive criticism, it's kind of a mix in between of people who actually did enjoy what you did, and then now they seemingly hate the skin on your bones. So it's difficult. It's a new level that, you know, we'll see how it goes, whether I can deal with that or whether I'll start getting in arguments as well. No, that's not going to happen. I never do that. I just shut down. That's how I sometimes deal with those kind of things. I sort of shut down and shut off from everything. It's kind of why I don't go into the Slack chats anymore. Part of it anyway, but I just ignore it. Whether that's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do, I don't know.
And now you got a nice lady to calm you down, to a shoulder to cry on whenever the comments get too mean. You know, so more than us. True. I only have Jerry and Tim. They don't like cuddle.
I've got my dogs, so
interesting what Hero Good says there. The criticism from within Noda comes from a lack of overall contact people have with you, wanting to share their opinions with me, say, but don't have the capabilities to do so, so they just chat with each other. But I'm open on so many ways. The Nodo forums, anybody can just send me a message. Anybody can send me a message on Nodo forums. It's as if people don't want to go the extra step. I've got an email address that's open. I read everything. You know.
Oh God. I don't know if you should be saying this. People are going to send you so much.
Well, maybe not the email specifically, but certainly the Nodo forums.
Emails. Yeah, I mean, if they didn't send you anything before, they're not going to send you anything now that you mentioned it to the podcast and 200 people.
And they're probably the kind of people that don't watch the podcast anyway, I guess. But
we don't want you.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care about me.
We want you so bad, though. Yeah. Oh wait, someone did say that we should joke less. So.
Oh yeah,
joke less.
Yeah.
Less
jokes.
That's pretty good.
And laughing.
Yeah, but then there was other people who said they liked the more playful, jokey approach to it as well. So again, you can't please everyone. And then it's interesting what X-Spider says. You know, there's a lot of psychology involved with dealing with hate. You have to remember it's very rare that you actually get genuine negativity towards you. It's like fake hate and banter and things like that. But it's impossible to know the difference. That's the thing. You can't know the difference when you hear that.
So there is a difference. You just put Kappa at the end. If there's Kappa,
well, yeah, that helps, I guess. But if you met 1,000 people, if you met 1,000 people in a day, 999 of them shake your hand and give you a compliment, but one of them slaps you and gives you a negative word. At the end of the day, only one of them will stick out more than the others, and that's true. It's true. Yeah, it does stick out more, and it's difficult to. You gotta always keep remembering that. It is a more minority of people. If it is a minority, that is. You know, if you start having 50% of your audience who start saying the same thing, then maybe you need to actually start thinking about, you've got a problem somewhere. But
maybe I actually am Southern inbred. Like maybe I need to, like if everybody was saying that, maybe I need to like go to a dentist or something. Like I don't know.
Well, yeah, I just thought, you know, interesting thing to talk about, dealing with criticism and dealing with hate, off the back of the fact that we've had track criticisms and criticisms of talking about track criticisms. It's you know, people are allowed to have different opinions about things, and as long as you don't shove it in someone's face and try to change their opinion vehemently to your own, and they aren't doing that to you, that's absolutely fine for me. I'm very much open. Just keep yourself to yourself. You can do whatever the hell that you want in life as long as you're not affecting anybody else.
Oh, you scrub. Have we been playing Grand Theft Auto 5 this whole time on Twitch?
I didn't change the game. I didn't change the category with Grand Theft Auto.
Oh my goodness. I swear to God. How did I ever get roped into such an unprofessional...
How did you get roped into it?
Show.
You started it. This wouldn't exist if you hadn't roped me into doing it.
Man.
Well, there's the choke. There's a choke. We're living up to the name. Hot. There's a choke.
Yeah, that was a joke. That was a good thing you're partnered. The rules don't apply to you. If I did this garbage, I'd be banned probably. So
I told you guys at the start of the stream. I didn't notice that. See, I mean, there's always got to be one point during the stream where I mess up or make a mistake.
And this is that
moment
where we get past it, move on, continue life.
God.
So,
Robo Nos, we've got Robo Nos now.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, Robo Nos.
It's Robo everybody.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, like
I've got
voice for
Robo.
that.
Yeah, hold on.
On that, am I a robot too?
Oh, it's Robo RDT as well. Or maybe it's on my end.
Robo battle. Stop
Uh-oh.
doing it. Stop. Please stop.
It's all gone to hell. The podcast's gone to hell.
Oh my!
It's deafened.
Get past the joke.
Oh
Remember
my
it?
god. Let me join a different.
Discord.
What?
It's Discord with your voice connection.
It's Discord losing
It's-
voice connect. Discord, get your shit together.
Getting out of here.
Quickly move to my Discord, everybody! Quickly.
Oh my god.
I may be able to fix it.
The King Head podcast brought to you by Discord. Discord, the #1 VIP education service for gamers. Find out more at discord.gg.
I like how he's doing the advertisement for Discord in Discord's worst moment. I mean, the thing is, I am partnered with Discord. I have the access to the higher levels of a voice chat and servers, so we shouldn't be having the issues. Best podcast content. Oh my god! At least you guys are enjoying
I can hear
it.
you just fine, by the way. I can hear you just fine. I'm just dropping packets outbound.
Oh right, okay. So
I have
it isn't on my
600
end. So I'm fine.
Maybe it
I'm all
is.
good.
Maybe it's on my end. Hold on.
It pays out to watch
Is that,
live. Absolutely. See, this is why you should watch live, and then you can get involved in the chat hype of robot emotes and all this stuff. Nos just sounds incredibly drunk.
Bamanet is okay. All right, Bamanet's fine. Hold on.
It feels
let
like
me-
it's coming back. Say something again.
Hey, are we back?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
back.
it's coming back. It's
back.
coming back.
Hey,
We're saved. Saved emote. We've got the saved emote now.
VIP service for gamers. Find out more at discord.gg.
And if you want to join the Bruffy Discord, it's discord.gg/Bruffy1322.
Yeah, I need to get the hookup. Well, you need get me the hookup with the Discord. I hate the generic invite links. I
Alright,
hate
you want
it
your
so
personal
much.
invite links. Saved.
Like, I just want the link. I don't want any of the other features. I just want the link.
Well, just apply. They've got a web site where you can apply.
Look, that require. I'll have Blade do it later.
Am I still a robot?
Yeah, we're
No, I
working
think
now. We're back.
Yeah, I think we're.
Minor glitch.
Am I back?
Yeah, we're all good.
Just had to huddle under my desk. No, I'm a real mama's boy, so if my mom called and I have to answer.
Okay, Mama Boy RDT.
Mama Boy RDT.
Speaking of our Discord, I guess we
Oh,
should.
you're gonna say talking about RDT's mother. Don't ever say that. I swear.
No, you're the
Let's-
Xbox player here, not Prophet.
Let's start up the getting people into the phone bank for the community questions section, and that is all on Discord. If anybody doesn't know how this happens, if you're here live or you want to tune in live to ask your question to us, you got to be here at the time that we start streaming, which is 7 p.m. UK time on a Friday. But you've also got to be either subscribed on Twitch or a Patreon supporter. You need to be on Discord, on my Discord server, which is Bruffy, discord.gg.
Discord.gg/Bruffy1322.
Yeah, there you go. And you link your Twitch account to to Discord, and it will automatically give you the correct role. Same thing does with Patreon for those who are on there. And then you get a role on Discord within the server that allows you to access the phone bank question voice thingy-mabob. Server, room, thing.
Oh, jeez. Choke.
Jesus Christ, you're this
The room, the voice room. So the phone bank
And
room.
you've taken so long to explain it. All right, look here. Let me do your job for you. Okay?
Pay him money,
Look,
you get in the server, okay?
there
That's
you
all
go.
you gotta do.
Look, listen. If you're a subscriber to Bruffy on Twitch or a Patreon supporter, you can join the Discord server at discord.gg/Bruffy1322. There's a channel on the Discord server called the Phone Bank, and we have a viewer question and answer section of the show, which will be coming up shortly. and you can join that question. MB Hammer will hop up there, let him know your question, and then you'll be pulled down in here, and you can ask your question. There you go, done. 20 seconds. You took 5 minutes to do that.
I'm not good at it. I feel like I'm good at explaining things, but
no.
I go so in depth with the explanation that it serves the complete opposite purpose, and people don't even end up listening in the first place.
You start this discussion with like the date you got partnered with Discord. So I set my Discord server up. That's where you start it.
So we'll get that going. If anybody's watching live and wants to get in there, get into the phone bank and get your questions ready.
Any question?
MB Hammer
it can be
will
on
head
topic, off topic,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Just hop in there, and MB Hammer will handle you and bring you on down whenever we get to that portion of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And whilst
I'll handle you really well. Don't you worry.
Good. So whilst that's all happening, we're going to do the regulars segment, which contains all regular segments. So what should we do first? Let's do Bruffy's Racing Corner, because we didn't have Bruffy's Racing Corner.
Racing Corner.
We didn't have it last week.
The Racing Corner. Oh boy.
We're bringing it back. Spanish GP. You guys have watched some of it.
I watched all of it.
You watched all of it?
the second half.
You watched the
I watched
second
all
half.
66 laps.
Yeah.
Bam.
Exciting race, right?
It was very exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could really get into F1 if they aren't all that exciting. Because, I mean, I honestly didn't realize how much strategy went into it. I mean, it's obviously, I should have known that. But when you think about, when you have to pit and when your partner has to pit and how he's going to slow down people and then how much, it's ridiculous how much thinking goes into it.
Yeah.
And the length of the tires, the life of the tires. It's a crazy sport, I'm telling you.
Well, not just. I mean, you gotta have certain tires. You gotta run all the tire compounds during the race at some point, or some nonsense like that. There's a lot of stuff, so it's very complicated.
Yeah, the thing is, do you think
left.
that takes away from the racing? Do you think that it would be more exciting if it was a bit simpler, more cars were on the same pace, and you didn't have all these different tire things that complicated the show? Do you think it would be more interesting if it was more focused on the racing? Speaking as two people who don't frequently watch it all the time.
I don't think so.
I mean, isn't that kind of what sets Formula One apart from other motorsport, is how complicated it is and how much strategy goes into it. It's not just cars around the circuit going fast.
It's a game of chess. It's a game of chess as much as it is racing. It's just a fucking 200-mile-per-hour game of chess.
Yeah. And really
severe consequences. Jesus.
Vettel should have won that race. Really, he got held up. He got held up by Bottas originally, and that lost him time. And then
but that was a great strategy.
It was a great strategy, of course. That's the Mercedes team playing it well, but the Ferrari played this wrong completely. All they had to do was mirror what Mercedes did. So whatever Mercedes did, they would just do it a lap after. But because they went early on the first pit stop, they backed themselves into a corner with what they chose. Mercedes had all the options, but even when the virtual safety car came out, you always lose less time in the pits through a virtual safety car because everybody's going around at a slower pace. So you can make your pit stop when everybody's going around at, say, 80 miles per hour instead of everybody going around at 200.
And you can use the DRS directly after that's over, too.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was a regular safety car, it'd be within 2 laps or something.
I think that's my biggest problem with the racing. Like, just, look, straight, woo, and we're racing.
Yeah, the DRS makes it. That's a universe. I hate that.
Because that was so awful. Like, there was this tight battle. He came out of the pits. Oh my goodness, this is intense. And then, we're gone.
Yeah, it's like, hey, see you later.
Yeah, that's so boring from a viewer perspective. I'm sure the strategy and whatnot. Woo, that's fantastic. But it's just, I hate it.
Yeah, it was. He just went flying past him.
So
The
anticlimactic.
thing is, Vettel had about 8 seconds ahead of Hamilton before the...
He was
6 or 8 seconds ahead of Hamilton before the virtual safety car. Mercedes came in and with the pit stop for the virtual safety car, but Ferrari didn't, and then did it a few laps later under normal racing conditions. and they lost that 8 seconds. That was the difference between pitting under a virtual safety car and not. If they'd pitted under the virtual safety car, they would have still had that 6 to 8 second buffer, and that might have been the difference between, you know, he might have taken the life out of his Hamilton's tyres in catching up that 8 seconds, and then wouldn't have been able to pass. And then even when, in my opinion, Ferrari played it wrong again, as soon as Hamilton passed, they should have come into the pits and changed for fresh tyres, because
as soon as he passed, it was over.
I mean, that was the only play he had.
I mean, they were banking on Hamilton's tyres not lasting enough time, but you have to be always forcing the other team to make another decision. And, you know, at that point, the ball swings back to Mercedes, and they have to decide, okay, do we leave him out and these tyres are going to wear out and he's on quicker tyres, is he going to catch up to us by the end, or do we pit now? And then there's that close battle again right as soon as they come out of the pits. So I think Vettel was let down by Ferrari's strategy, to be honest. And Ferrari do this quite a lot. Their strategy isn't as good.
I'd agree with that.
I mean, I think a lot of it had to do with the beginning of the race too. Bottas was just in the way of everybody because he knocked into Raikkonen, who took out Verstappen, right? Or was it the other way around? Either way, they went into each other. And if those two, from what I understand, my limited knowledge of F1, if those two were in the race, it might have been a little bit more competitive and maybe some more cars in the way.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, you know, it was really good for my first full F1 event. To watch.
For the little while.
The Spanish GP on that track doesn't really lend itself very well for overtaking. So the Spanish GP normally isn't all that interesting, and the person who's won the race for the last sort of 16 years or something at that track has been the person who started in the front two positions. So in general, the Spanish Grand Prix isn't that interesting or entertaining, but this one was, surprisingly. So hopefully that continues for the season and we get more interesting races. Alonso doing the Indy 500. Bruffy's Racing Corner extending to not just Formula 1. Fernando Alonso, the Indy 500. That's an American thing.
I watched the Barber Motorsport Park Indy race on TV. That's as far as I went, because that's my hometown track. It's my hometown track.
Is the Indy 500 pretty big over there?
I have no clue.
Is that a cat? What is that?
I'm in the South. We watch NASCAR. That's it. So I don't know anything about any.
Nobody knows anything about the Indy 500. Okay.
I watch an Indy car.
I thought you would have known because it is just going around in circles, but I guess IndyCar isn't as popular as NASCAR. Okay, well, never mind. Bruffy's Racing Corner lasted a little bit of time and then died. Verstappen won last year from 5th, but I think it wasn't the last 16 years I meant.
For driving alone the entire time.
He was so lonely. Just on that point, it was like 16 of the last 18 years or something, not necessarily the last 16 years or some stat like that. Don't take my word on that. But yeah, Ricciardo was pretty lonely. The Red Bulls have been very lonely all.
Poor guy. He's so charming too. How is he so lonely? You think people want to drive around him too? What a shame.
All right, so next segment, should we do RDT's Apple Juice Minute?
Oh, I can do that. Do you want a superior beer? Do you want a beer that has the strength and power of a lion? Well, I don't have that for you. I only have the Lion's Head. Lion's Head beer. It's from the great state of Pennsylvania, probably out somewhere in Pennsyltucky, in Bumblefuck, Pennsylvania. Buy ad revenue, whatever. I don't give a shit. This one was a lot cheaper.
Not my channel, right?
Not my channel. Plus, you probably get more tips for me being real. You know, just this is real raw, ragged RDT. Anyway, I spent $12 for 24. I'm really bringing it back down to an RDT level for you guys,
frugal level.
Yeah, frugal level, so I can keep doing the segment. The roar of a lion's head and nothing else.
When are you doing Natural Light? You have to do Natural Light one, please.
Oh, man, I'm dreading that one.
Please, I want to see you drink it on camera. I want you to
I mean,
suffer.
you know that for this, I was originally gonna say, you don't need to, don't go bankrupt over RDT's apple juice minute or anything. But then I thought about it and I thought, you don't need to buy a 24 pack every single week. You could quite easily just buy a few, a 4-pack or 6-pack.
Look at this
Yeah,
face. That's impossible.
Could, but like,
Okay,
then I have to make
see.
multiple trips per week to the alcohol
Fine.
store. So
I see how it goes.
That's
I see how it
ridiculous.
goes.
What's this guy talking about?
I mean, just the whole process of you getting natural light would just be terrible. Like you'd actually have to face the
I'd
cashier.
have to look the guy in the eye.
Right, in the eye. You'd have to look him in the eye and say, yes, this is what I'm doing with my life. And then you'd have to take
Yeah.
it home. All your friends would have to see it. Like, what are you doing? Like, it'd just be
Yeah.
a walk of shame all the way to the podcast. It'd be great. You got to do it.
All right, okay.
Maybe one week.
Moving on.
Let's move on to the choke of the week. Let's do it.
Oh,
Moving right on
Choke
into
of the
the
week.
Choking Hazard podcast, Choke of the Week.
You guys in the chat, you will get to vote on what you think is the best choke this week. We have the best 3 that were submitted, and you guys will ultimately choose the winner. I still haven't got the camera set up so that it shows all of us on this segment. It's only going to show me again. I know,
Like a
I'm
straw,
sorry.
but
I know.
Yeah,
Well, I will
whatever.
get it sorted.
That's your assignment this week. Do that.
we turned into
Yeah.
robots, so we got a lot of people in the friggin' phone bank.
Yeah, maybe quite a few questions this week. Let me go.
All right, so the Choke of the
to-
Week.
There we go. All right, let's play these through.
So who does clip number 1 come to us from?
Clip number 1 is from. Was it from Ezra? Can you guys tell me? Because I don't have the window open.
1985. That would be
Ezra,
correct. Ezra.
1985, good stuff.
Yeah.
Junes.
Junes.
I mean, Junes do make everything better.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
It has some significant issues in that tune, no doubt about
And
it.
just a hop, a skip, a jump, and an explosion.
Yeah.
Next, second, curb surfing scum.
You think you could like comment these while you're watching them so that we can know where you are?
Well, we're on the second one now. The curb surfing.
I mean, like
scum.
what you're seeing. You're like, oh yeah, he's. Looking.
I mean, the second one's over now, and we're on the third one.
well, you know
Quality
what?
show. Quality show.
Well, what can I do? We're seeing the chokes.
Say, oh, he's going around the corner, so I can know where I am
All right,
to
so
watch.
he
We have these separately.
well, if you okay, I should. Well, next week we'll start the playlists at the same time.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, we'll play them all again. Let's do that, shall we?
All
Yeah,
right.
we need. God.
All right, we're starting the first one again now.
All right, so he's
So
in
this
the
is number
tubes going
1.
across the speed boost.
This
Issues
is
in front. Choke in front, up into first.
Get to the first.
Good
yeah.
show.
In the air, and then the Dune does what the Dune loves to do.
Thank you, Rockstar, and good night.
Yeah.
to
Slight drift
Master.
there into an explosion.
Yeah. And then number 2. Here we go. Curb surfing scum.
I've
Friggin'
had my fair share of these people to deal with before.
I like how he calls him the curb surfing scum, but he was
And
curb
he's doing
surfing
the same
himself.
He's
thing.
also
Yeah.
curb surfing.
You got to do the same thing, and whoop, and
It's like,
he's
look
gone.
at that teleporting scumbag. God.
There you go. There's
And
clip
then
2.
the third one. He's in the lead. He's way in the lead in this one.
He's having a good time.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's.
just
Banana
basically
color.
like
And then
basically
he
like
saves
Ricardo.
it and then messes it up again.
Oh. He's like,
Oh,
oh,
and then
oh,
he's
oh,
gone.
Oh,
Yeah, second. Oh, that is painful. That is painful.
That one hurts me.
Painful to watch. Yeah.
Finishes
that
right
one.
at the end of the race as well.
Feel that in
Okay,
the
so
balls.
those are your three chokes of this
Hammer,
week.
you're not
You
muted,
guys
by the way.
choose
Yeah,
which one
very
is the
weird.
best.
There you're hammering away. And you're
Emily has put the straw poll link in the chat. Get onto the straw poll. Choose number 1, 2, or 3. Which one is your favourite? Which one is going to be your Choking Hazard podcast choke of the week for episode 5? How are we doing on the
Which
phone
one is it
bank?
going to be? Wow.
We have a fair few questions
All right,
this
okay.
week, which
Are
is
they
good
good
because we've
questions?
got a bit more time. Yeah, they're pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay.
All right, good. I don't want anybody plugging their
Actually
YouTube
get
channels.
through these. All right, you can't ramble through all of them. Do you understand?
Okay,
keep
okay,
it
fine.
concise
I'll
to the
keep
point.
my answers as concise as I possibly can.
So,
Do the chokes have to be race related? Absolutely not. They can be any
No,
kind
they
of
can be any
relation
kind
to
of
anything, as long as it's a choke.
Yep.
All right.
The vote's pretty close. It has to be
No,
said.
I want to take one now.
Chokes 1 and 3 are battling it out for first and second.
I
1 and
think-
3, did you say?
Yeah, 1 and 3.
Junes, man, they make everything better.
Yeah, I think
do.
we can. I think we can declare that. To be honest, right now, we're 95 votes. Usually, when we get to around the 100 mark and people stop voting, that's when we declare it. I think we can declare the winner on this one.
And that
All
means
right.
choke number 3 from Bloody Squirrels is your Choking Hazard podcast. Choke of the week.
Well done. Good job. Good choke.
Well done, buddy. Good.
I think
well,
I think
now-
choke
Well,
one got a
well
lot
done,
of
Nick.
choke one got a lot of votes because it was a June. But personally,
blew up.
my personal choice was also choke 3. I think that was a quintessential example of a choke. It was
Yeah,
perfect.
on
It was
principle,
miles
you
in the
are
lead.
correct.
Miles
Yeah.
in the lead, almost the last corner, tiniest little hit, then messes it up again, and finishes second. That's the kind of thing that I would do. That's the kind of thing that I did on the last content creator stream on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Third was a true choke. That's the first
Yeah.
true choke that we've
Yeah,
had.
on principle, you are correct.
Yeah.
You are measurably correct in your choke choice.
Yeah.
But
Guess which
Great-
choke wins
great
before
choke.
MB Hammer. Well, yeah, we could do that maybe next week. From that, starting next week, we could not maybe guess, but give our thoughts on what we thought was we would prefer to vote for, and then MB Hammer can announce the winner. I think we should do that.
yeah.
So yeah,
Alright,
choke
good.
3 from Bloody Squirrels, was it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Bloody
good
Squirrels.
job, good
Bring it
choke, well
home.
done. Well, not really well done because it's a negative thing, but
Yeah,
good job on winning the.
You kind of suck, but you, know,
Yeah.
you suck for a good reason. You know?
So,
You're being
RDT,
celebrated for it.
Yeah,
What?
good
Which
job.
one was your favorite? Which one was
3.
your favorite, RDT?
3, without a doubt.
3?
Yeah.
So you
Bloody
both
Squirrels.
agree. Look,
Yeah.
there's a special place in my heart for the curb boosting scum. He got exactly what he deserved.
All right.
I think that number 2 lost a bit of credibility when we realised that he
'Cause it
was also
wasn't
curb
them.
surfing himself.
It wasn't him
him. I mean, it was a
You
good
gotta-
choke,
Look,
but
listen, you got to keep up somehow, right? He's in a 900R, and you're in a Nero,
Sure.
okay? Look, you got to
Um,
do what you got to do.
Hey, that
I
guy
can
did
respect that.
steroids, so I gotta do steroids. you know?
Exactly.
all right, let's do our first caller. I'm not going to do
Alright.
any intros this week because it was terrible last week. It's just
No,
not
that was
happening.
All right.
All right, so who's our first caller? The
Up
Hammer?
first, we've got the always exposed Mr. Coin Dog.
Hello, Coin Dog. You're on the Choking Hazard podcast, the show where none of us are Red Cross first aid certified. What's your question?
Hello there.
That was,
So-
that was
My question
involved.
My question mainly to Bruffy and Nos. RDT might have something to say. I'm not sure. I don't know his history too much. But so
Alright.
in Bruffy's YouTube career and your Twitch career, Nos, what have been like the breakthrough video or stream for you so far?
Okay, well, mine's
Like
easy.
the one that had like the most effect on the channel?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to answer, bruh, first?
Yeah, mine is easy. It's the original testing video, the stock vehicles, super and sports
Yeah.
cars. It's still my most watched
That's
video.
yeah, it says 700,000
Uh,
views, doesn't it? Last time I
I
looked.
think it's 800,000 now. I think it's. I can't believe people still watch it because it's incredibly outdated. But it's the closest thing I have to a million view video. It's the only one that's over 500,000. So that one undoubtedly, my channel was nothing really. I mean, I did Gears for a year, didn't get a single. I maybe got 10 subscribers or something, a few viewers. Started GTA, got a few more viewers, but nothing special. Then started doing the testing videos, did that one. That video got put on Reddit, shared around. I got about 2,000 subscribers in the space of, I don't know, a week or something, half a week. And it's all gone on from there. That it was from that video alone is what set everything else in motion. And I think I talked about that on the channel history subscriber special video, 20k subscriber special. I talked about that. But 842,901 views. Wow, that's crazy.
Quite a
But,
few
yeah.
views.
That is definitely
few.
the video that started it all off. There's probably been a lot other videos now that people are finding me on, but that was the one that kicked everything off originally.
For me, it probably. Adam said that some of the DLC streams I did were pretty good. They did get me a good number of views. But it's got to be the first time I played with Summit. Got to be that. I mean that was definitely the one that got me the most followers. And
Oh, really? It was that big of an impact.
Yeah, it was a huge impact. It was like 400 one night, 300 the other night.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
It was a big deal. I haven't had the same effect the other times I played with Summit, but and plus, who was it? Can't believe I don't remember this. Wow, I'm such a scum. Hold on.
So I mean, your biggest impact is once again feeding off the success of others.
Yes, of course. See, that's the way that I roll.
It's a great way to do it. You know,
it was False Man. False Man was the guy who did it. He was a big donator over on Summit Stream, and he threw down a bet on a race, and I happened to win, and he was $350 or 300, I think.
GG.
So, you know, that went a long way towards the new PC. This was back when I was still on the 750 and the 8320. So,
yeah.
That went a long way. I was able to buy the PC after that too. So
good stuff. Good stuff.
Summit's definitely had one of the, like, it's odd how the effect you've had and the effect that he has had can almost be equated in some way, except I played with him for all of 10 hours, and I've spent the last 3 years with you. So really, you know, size goes a long way.
Yeah,
but that's my answer. The playing with Summit's definitely been the biggest thing, and the networking with not just Summit, but like people like Bo and all the other people that he plays with as well has been very good for not only the channel, but I've met some good people as well. Yeah. So
fair enough.
So yes,
I mean,
feeding off the success of others, and that is how I will always live my life.
Feeding off that theme, my second most viewed song is my savage beatdown of Bruffy, titled "Back to Bruff." So
yeah, I remember that.
It's bad.
That was a beatdown. That was when I got 100K, right?
Yeah, that is one.
Yeah, so
I had to do it.
Yeah, so you got a little bit of viewership from that. It's interesting. I mean, you see this, how people put PewDiePie in the title of their videos to get more more views to their videos. I guess it happens all the way down, even to a small degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to Bruff. That was savage.
But yeah.
That's not straight fire though. We should probably make its own little command.
I should probably link it in the description, but the problem is I'll forget and I won't end up linking it in the description for the YouTube video. But anyway, thank you, Kind Dog.
Anyway, thank you, Kind Dog. That was a good question. Finally, a question from me as well.
Yeah.
We're only 5 weeks in, so thank you for that one, Kind Dog.
It's coming, all right. Shut up.
All right, so who's our next caller?
I want this one
Our next caller is also famed for exposing our fearless leader here. We've got Mr. X Spider with a question.
Mr. X Spider, welcome to the Choking Hazard podcast. You can ask your question, but keep your small parts away from children.
Yes, I'm the only one that can't do that. I'm the only one. I'm Tom. Oh my God. I'm not inventive. I'm not inventive enough for that kind of stuff.
Who's your question for? What's your question, X Spider?
Okay, my question is for all three of you guys. And basically, okay, let's imagine all three of you, I know this already applies to Bruffy and kind of Nos as well. All three of you were full-time YouTube and Twitch streamers, and you all three, the main game you specialized on was GTA. So you did other things on the side, but mainly GTA. Okay. And let's say the next GTA patch comes out, and it completely destroys GTA. It knocks out everything about GTA, completely destroys the online, all mods are disabled, gone, and the player base just dies completely. What would be your next course of action? Would you pick another main game to focus on, or would you start going into loads of different games and spend your time that way, or how would you survive, basically?
Right, you first. Do you have any idea what you would do?
Speaking just straight off the top of my head right now, I would obviously give it a lot of thought before I made this sort of decision and what would be best for the future. But I would probably, I think, start streaming full time. I think I would
Just
stream.
just a broken game.
Not GTA. I would stream all. I would do my Friday
He'd have
streams,
to-
but
yeah, he'd have to do
every day.
more to make up for the viewer deficit that he'd experience.
I would-
You'd
I
be
would
that,
stream all
that
the
dog
time.
that's on fire and just being like, it's okay.
all
This is okay.
games, all different. I mean, I would probably still keep the YouTube channel going a little bit. Maybe a bit of GTA 4 every now and then or something like that. It's a interesting question because I can't imagine this thing ever happening. Like you would never imagine that Rockstar would break the game and not fix it again. At least for a set, it might be broken for a little bit of time, but you would imagine that they would fix it eventually.
Yeah, it's an interesting
but
hypothetical, though.
it is an interesting hypothetical question, and if that were to happen, GTA was to be gone. Yeah, people wouldn't watch. I agree with Soccer Ball, and people wouldn't watch me stream other games, but I think that's what I would do. I would spend my time streaming different games, the maybe just all sorts of different things. I don't know, a lot of story-driven games because I enjoy doing that.
You'd have to break out the wheel. If I were you, that's
what
the
it would
route
be.
I'd go.
Yeah,
I'd go
would-
back to racing sims.
Yeah, I'd break
what
out the
I do.
wheel.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo Sport whenever that comes out, Forza, whatever, whenever it would go back to racing sims. Maybe the new Formula One game. I would have that racing aspect. Whether my channel would, logically thinking about it now, that's probably what I would do. I would probably start going to other racing games. I would do maybe the Formula F1 2017 when that comes out, say.
Alright.
I'd just do racing games, do the same sort of racing stuff on those games, but I would probably do it less on YouTube and more focused on Twitch, I think.
Yeah. In my case, I don't experience the same viewer deficit when I do other games that Bruff does. Streamers will always tell you, don't look at the numbers. You can't look at the numbers. Hide your viewer number. Don't look at it. But I don't subscribe to that way of thinking. I look at my stats constantly and see where I'm at. I don't experience the same viewer deficit that Bruff does when he does other games. For instance, how many viewers would you say you get normally? Like a little over 100? Bruff,
when we do other games, doing the podcast now, we're on 200. That normally drops
but
to about...
this is kind of special.
It normally, like last week when we started playing The Wolf Among Us afterwards, and we're going to do the same this week, it normally drops to about 150 and then goes towards 100 by the time we get to the end of the stream.
Yeah.
But I mean, viewer numbers always tend to tail off towards the end anyway, regardless of what you're playing. But yeah, it's certainly a lot less than the 500, 600 people that we get on a Sunday when I put up a video on YouTube, or the 300, 400 people we get on a Wednesday when playing GTA.
Yeah, so I don't experience that. I get normally I do I self promotion. I stream on Monday and Tuesdays. I do the weekday playlist that we do in Nodo. I usually get anywhere from 60 to 100 on rare occasions there, and then on Thursdays in the games I play, I usually get about 40 viewers is kind of the baseline average. So I don't experience that severe drop off. So I'd probably just play what I wanted to play. And besides, at this point, it's still kind of a hobby for me. It's a very lucrative hobby in terms of how much time I put into it, but it's still a hobby. I hope it'll be something more, but that's a discussion for another day. But I'd probably just play whatever I want to play then. I mean, and that's not to say that I don't want to play GTA. I still do want to do the racing, but I would move on to just I'd play more retro games, play more PS2 games, stuff like that. That's probably what I'd do if GTA was just broken. So.
And what would you do, ADT, as a player? Since
As
you
a
don't really
player?
stream or YouTube, do anything like that. What would you move on to next and play as a player?
Just I guess I would just live my life, just do what adults are supposed to do now that I'm graduating tomorrow. I'm getting my degree, everybody.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
good job! Congratulations.
But yeah,
my goodness.
when it comes to video games, I don't know. I play a bunch of different games. Although GTA is probably my main game that I play. I'm a big fan of the FIFA. I like my football here and
Yeah.
there. Some car soccer, some Rocket League, car football. Sorry.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah, if only I was better at Rocket League, I could transition to that.
It's just I can play other things. Nintendo 64. I've got one of those.
Yeah.
Snap.
Snap.
All
Fair
right.
enough. Interesting
Thank you
question.
for your question.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Spider. That's
No
an
worries.
interesting hypothetical. Thank you.
No worries. Have a great stream.
Thanks.
You too.
Thank you.
Wait, you too? God damn it.
Good job. Good job, Nos.
Enjoy the rest of the stream is what I mean. Look, I
right.
misspeak sometimes.
Who's
Who's our
next?
next caller? MB Hammer. Who's next on the Choking Hazard podcast?
Well, it's our very own Quick Draw Quilson, C. Wilson.
Ooh.
I'm never gonna do that again.
Hello, C. Wilson. You're on the Choking Hazard podcast. Who's your question for, and what's your question?
The question is for Bruff and anyone who else really wants to answer it. It's
You sound pretty
What's-
enthusiastic about it.
what's your opinion on Fernando Alonso doing the Indy 500?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I want to see more of that kind of stuff. I would love for Formula One drivers to race in other series, do Le Mans as a one-off every now and then, and WEC drivers. A lot of those do the Formula E as well, and I love that cross contamination of series. IndyCar drive, obviously. Formula One is the one thing where people aren't going to just be dropped into it, but IndyCar drivers doing a bit of NASCAR drivers doing a bit of sports car racing, and sports car racers doing a bit of IndyCar and things like that. I think that's great, and I really think that the restrictions that have been placed on Formula One recently, certainly to do with Bernie Eccleston more so than anyone else, I imagine, have hindered that. I would love to see Alonso do Le Mans. When we saw Nico
Hülkenberg was
go to Le Mans and win it first time out, and then that was fantastic. And then the next year they scheduled the European Grand Prix to be exactly the same day as Le Mans on purpose, so that Formula One drivers couldn't do that again. Like, I hate that. I think Formula One drivers should be allowed to, and it makes it more interesting because it lets you see how they do outside of just this sphere of Formula One. Yeah.
Because I think
Apart from if you're Polish and you have a flair for rallying.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe don't do that. Maybe don't do the Kubica stance.
because there's even to a smaller extent, there's Tom Chilton. I think he's doing British touring cars and world touring cars as well this year. So,
Yeah, well, yeah, I like all that stuff. I like people doing all the different things. It's better. It's better for the.
It's kind of like
it's better for motorsport in general.
This
I
isn't
agree.
motorsport. This isn't motorsport related at all, but it is sport related. Like I don't know how much you guys know about combat sport, but Conor McGregor is trying to have a boxing match with Floyd Mayweather. But since he's in the UFC and an MMA fighter, he can't really switch over. But they're trying to make that deal. It's like, they should be able to do other things, just not compete in the same sport, I guess. Like I wouldn't want Conor going and fighting MMA somewhere else. But if he wants to go do a different sport, he should be able to. IndyCar is different than F1.
Yeah.
So.
And when you think about, like, you've got motorsport as a whole is a sport. You've got motorsport, and underneath motorsport there's single-seater racing, the top of which is Formula One, but then you've got IndyCar very close to that. You've got oval racing, which IndyCar is a part of, and NASCAR also does a bit of road courses as well. You got, touring car racing, all these different rallying, all these different disciplines of motorsport. I think it's good for motorsport as a whole when people swap over like that. If Formula One drivers are doing different things, that only look at how the Indy 500, it's in the news everywhere now because one Formula One world champion is switching over and choosing to do that race instead of Monaco, and that raises the whole profile of the Indy 500. That's good for IndyCar. That's good for motorsport in general. So, yeah.
Because I remember I saw something like yesterday on Twitter. It was that on YouTube the Indy 500 practice sessions. But last year's one was gaining about 20,000 views. This year's have been in the 100,000s.
I saw that. It was actually 700,000 people watched the Indy 500 practice sessions on YouTube this year, compared to like 50,000 last year. So
Wow,
That's impressive.
it just one Formula One driver going to Indy has made that change. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
All right. Well, there's your
Anyway,
answer.
thanks for your question.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Going back to the racing corner. Thanks, C. Wilson.
Bear
All right,
X.
so who's our next
I got a question for
caller?
Bear X. Hold on. Is this the game? Is this the game you were talking about?
Wave Race, I remember that.
So, yeah,
Oh,
I had it.
I need
Played it in the
to
arcade.
break
Wow.
out the N64. I need to
Yeah.
break it out on a stream. Star
Son,
Wars
you are a
Rogue
PC
Squadron.
gamer. Emulate, my man. Running it like 8K or something. Come on. Anyway, who's our next caller, MB Hammer?
All right, we've got up next, who's becoming a bit of a regular on the podcast. It's Mr. Mega Mario 64.
Mr. Mega Mario, welcome to the show. Who's your question for, and what is your question?
Well, I've got a question for all three of you this time, and for the chat.
Love the enthusiasm.
No, don't involve the chat. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't get
Well,
the scums
they're
involved.
bound to give their answer anyway, but I'll just tell you.
What's your question?
What is your favorite moment from the podcast so far? Considering we're 5 episodes in, a month's worth, there's bound to be some good answers, right?
I guess the face reveal. I guess
The
that's got
face
to be it
reveal?
for me, right?
The
Yeah,
NOS
the
face
cowboy
reveal,
hat
huh?
face reveal. I think that's what
Um,
everyone else is going to say too. So Might as well go
For
with the
me,
crowd.
it was the only moment from the podcast that is on Bruffy's Random Bits. That is the very
yeah.
first intro to the Choking Hazard podcast.
Yeah.
What's stuck in your
Oh.
throat today?
That broke me.
That's my favorite.
I'm glad you enjoyed.
Best moment is this one when the chat got involved. The chat's involved every single one.
Yeah.
You're always there. You're always on the side there all the time. Yeah, what's stuck in your throat today for me? Was that the same for
maybe
you,
I was.
RDT?
Man, I didn't know
Yeah,
that
I
I could
agree.
say something that would surpass the face reveal.
It was
Okay,
so
that must have been-
unexpected. It was brilliant.
unexpected. Come on, you knew I was going to treat this like a radio show when I came here. Come on, man. You knew that this is what was going to happen.
Thank you, Mr. Mega Mario. Good question.
Yeah, good question. Quick one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Didn't give Bruff a chance to ramble on that
Yeah.
one. Good job.
I love Mr. Mega Mario's like energy when he comes in here. He's like, I got a fucking question for you. And then he's like, hey,
I'm trying, I'm trying.
Good
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
man. Good
You're doing a
stuff.
good job. Thanks for your question.
Last one.
And let's move
All
on to the
right,
final question.
last but not least, we've got a new Patreon guy, I believe. Bro.
Okay.
I don't know. Major Copyright is brand new to the Patreon. world.
Oh yeah, he
Hello,
is
caller.
indeed.
You're on the Choking Hazard podcast. Thank you for your Patreon support over on Bruff's Patreon. Who's your question for? What's your
copyright.
question?
You can be as mean to copyright as you want. It's fine.
You're darn right you can be. You can be as mean to me as you want. You're just that
Anyway,
beautiful.
who's your question for and what's your question?
My question is for all of you.
All right.
Frogster came to you and they said, listen, we're going to let you have full control over whatever DLC we have up next. Right? Full control. You can do whatever you want. But unfortunately, we can't make it be vehicle-based. We just can't have it. We've had too many vehicle-based DLCs.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to come up with something that's not vehicle-based. But you have full control of whatever else you want.
What would we do?
The Let's Fix
Liberty
the
City.
Broken Game DLC. How about
Liberty
that?
City, without a
Maybe-
doubt.
it's just a
yeah.
complete bug fix. It's just a complete bug fix patch. That would be
I mean,
my
a bug
DLC.
fix DLC would be amazing to actually make the game. Imagine GTA 5 worked flawlessly. Everything just worked.
Yeah.
The lobby system, I would change the lobby system to actually completely go back to GTA 4s and all this kind of stuff. I can't do vehicle based, so the class system doesn't really come into that. But yeah, a fixing the game DLC would be beautiful. But
Yeah.
I couldn't go beyond RDT's suggestion. He's hit it on the
some-
head for me. That's exactly what I would have as well.
That's some boring ass shit. A
Yeah.
bug fix DLC. Come on,
right?
Hey,
That-
it needs
that's
to
a
happen.
patch.
And look, if it's not going to happen unless
Right?
this hypothetical happens, we
Bring
can
us some
control
new
it.
cities. That's what I want.
I mean,
Yeah.
Liberty City. I mean, look, the modding community is already doing that for us. Hopefully, we'll have Liberty
Congratulations, PC.
City. Yeah, maybe you should move here. It's
You
pretty
master
nice.
race over here. Why don't you calm down?
Sorry, I'm not Mr. Moneybags. I can't afford another
Oh,
copy
you're
of
gonna
GTA.
trigger me if you say PC's expensive. I'll make it triggered.
Let's not get into that discussion now. Casino
later.
DLC confirmed.
Casino DLC, that'd be
Yeah,
cool. too.
my biggest dream, fixing the Vans class by adding the Moonbeam. Thing is, the Moonbeam wouldn't fix the Vans class. It would just make it more interesting. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely adding Liberty City from GTA 4 into GTA Online.
Not Vice City?
Vice City too, if they could. All the cities.
as many
Now,
as many
Vice-
maps
in
as
my
they can do.
opinion,
But
Vice-
Las
Vice
Venturas.
City needs to be a standalone game. That needs to be GTA 6. It needs to be a complete standalone game.
I agree
its own
with that.
Full-fledged map.
I think it's
A
time.
remaster? You want a remaster
No.
to be GTA
No,
6?
not a
Yeah, but does
No,
Miami
next-
still
next
have the
game.
same appeal now as what
No.
it did in the 80s? I don't think it's a good place if you were doing
No.
it
It's
present
got more
day
death.
GTA.
I mean, you can always, you can always go with
More
another
dangerous
retro
than
game.
Yeah.
A bowling
I mean, they-
DLC. Cousin, it is your cousin. Go bowling.
No, I would definitely more maps. I mean, if Liberty City is the one that would port straight over, that's why most people say Liberty City. But you know, if they were to then develop a map for Vice City and then develop a map for Las Venturas and San Fierro, but I imagine those would come with brand new games in their entirety.
Yeah, I bet there could be some pretty sweet racing circuits in Liberty City too.
Yeah,
With our
so I
content
think
creator,
I think
I bet
Liberty
that'd be
City would be
amazing.
what I would choose for a DLC. Absolutely, if I could do anything.
Yeah,
GTA Alabama. Cousin, it is your girlfriend.
No, it's no. Look, GTA Alabama would just be like the Dukes of Hazzard video game. I think that already probably pretty bad, but
Yeah, I would pay for a Liberty City as an expansion as well. I mean, my personal thought is that they might, for the next GTA, they realise that this needs to be a huge thing, the online portion. They'll reset everything from the start, so we're not just having all the same money and same cars and stuff like that, but they'll have a new game, GTA 6, in a new city, and then they'll also, for the online portion, they'll go back to Liberty City, they'll go back to Los Santos, and include
Or
those
Las
in
Venturas.
GTA Online. If they don't, then they're missing a trick, I think. New maps are what's needed for the next GTA. I don't think it would ever happen for GTA 5 beyond
it's
PC
shocking.
modding, but that's what I would do if I had the choice.
you imagine every time you wanted to go to Liberty City or do a race, you had to pay for a plane ticket. It was the cost of a $5 shark card.
Yeah, that could happen as well. Thank you, Major Copyright.
I should
Good
probably
question.
shut my mouth.
Thank
Give
you,
them
man.
Thank you,
ideas.
copyright.
Yeah, good question.
You're welcome.
Copyright. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, and that is it. Those
And
are
that
our
concludes.
questions.
It's so hot. Ugh.
It
It's
has
like
been
30,
nice.
32.
I was thrown off completely by you not being in front of the whiteboard. It was disturbing initially, and I'm glad you moved.
Whoa.
Yeah, we fixed it. We fixed
Yeah.
it. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
feel back to normal now. All right, so that'll be it for episode 5. We hope you
There you
enjoyed. Yeah. Well, next week.
think
I
it's
hope so,
Next
too.
week will be. I'm really looking forward to next week. Next week's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be a really
going
good
to
one.
be good. We're going to have a fantastic guest.
Some great
topics
topics.
are going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, great topics as well.
This
So,
is next.
it's going to be
Basically,
very
next
good.
week is a discussion video that I've wanted to make for a while. So I've had this topic as an idea for a GTA discussion video for a long time. The robot, yes, the robot on the whiteboard. Love, lovely.
There you go.
So yeah, it will be, I think, a really interesting topic, and we're going to go over quite a lot of stuff, and we've got a great guest on next week. So yeah, next week
Yeah.
should be fun. But yeah, I'm still enjoying this podcast. Gotta say, I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it too.
Yes,
All
I'm
right.
still in the wicker chair. Hear it?
Oh, we still need chair fun for our DT.
Yeah.
Camera
So
first
that's
though.
going to wrap it up.
The chair
Maybe
doesn't.
an
The,
AC.
the chair doesn't improve your the viewers. The viewer. There's no viewer experience improvement from you getting a better chair. So we need to get a better webcam first, and then,
Yeah.
then we can
Okay,
think about
yeah.
selfish things like a chair.
Maybe an air conditioner. According to my phone here, it's 33 degrees Celsius. So I don't know what.
I know
know
his
what that
camera
is.
is fine. Chat, but
92
it could
Fahrenheit
be- it
for
could
all
be
you
even better.
Americans out here.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'll wrap it up. Do you want to say goodbye,
Sweating my
guys?
dick off. What?
That's going to
Good way
do
to
it for the
end.
Choking Hazard
Yeah.
podcast, episode 5. Hope
Say
you
Go to
goodbye,
Nas's
guys.
Twitch. Go to my YouTube.
Yeah, there you go.
Rick, out.
Damn it!
Woo!
Damn it!
Self promotion. All right.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
See you later,
Goodbye.
guys. Bye bye.